I paid off my sister's debt. Then she went on a luxury vacation without inviting me. Being the responsible sibling was a burden I never asked for, but one I was forced to carry. I was the problem solver, the fixer, the one who had to step up whenever things fell apart. And things always fell apart with my sister, Lisa. She had a way of crashing through life with reckless abandon, accumulating problems like souvenirs, bad relationships, impulsive spending, reckless decisions that always, somehow, became someone else's responsibility. And this time, it had been me. Again. I should have said no. When she showed up at my door 3 months ago, teary-eyed, frantic, whispering about creditors, collection agencies, and the looming threat of bankruptcy, I should have shut the door. I should have reminded myself of the last time I bailed her out, or the time before that. But she had a way of making me forget, of making me hope. "I swear this time is different," she had said, gripping my hands with the desperation of a drowning person. "I've learned my lesson. I just need one last chance. Just one, and I promise I'll never ask you for anything again." I wanted to believe her, so I did what I always did. I fixed it. I drained my savings, money I had been carefully setting aside for years, money meant for me, for my future, for the things I had earned through hard work and sacrifice. I paid off her credit cards, settled her overdue bills, wiped away the looming financial disaster she had created for herself. And when she hugged me, when she whispered, "You have no idea how much this means to me," I let myself believe, just for a moment, that it was worth it, that maybe, just maybe, this time she would change. Then she disappeared, stopped answering texts. Calls went straight to voicemail. At first, I thought maybe she was just embarrassed. Maybe she was taking some time to get her life together, to rebuild, to prove to herself that she could be responsible. Then I saw the pictures. A friend sent them to me, a simple text that made my blood turn to ice. "Wow, Lisa really bounced back fast, huh?" Attached was a screenshot of her Instagram. Lisa, sprawled out on a pristine white sand beach, sunglasses perched on her nose, holding a mocktail with a tiny umbrella sticking out of it, a caption that made my stomach lurch. "Finally living my best life. Deserved Mean-Year's luxury vibes. Work hard, play hard. Luxury. Vibes." My hands trembled as I scrolled through the rest. Lisa in a first-class airplane seat, cold drink in hand, a designer bag sitting on the empty seat beside her. Lisa at a 5-star resort, wrapped in a plush bathrobe, a room service tray filled with expensive meals in front of her. Lisa on a yacht, laughing, wind in her hair, surrounded by people I had never met. And the final crushing blow? A picture of her at an upscale boutique, holding up a pair of designer heels. The caption reading, "Because I deserve nice things. Deserve." I had given up everything to pull her out of the mess she made, and she had taken that gift, that sacrifice, and spent it on this? A vacation? A celebration? And worst of all, she hadn't even invited me. The rage was immediate. But beneath it, beneath the betrayal, beneath the sickening realization that she had lied to me again, was something worse. I wasn't even surprised. Because deep down, I had always known who Lisa was. I had just been too much of a fool to stop pretending she could be anything else. I waited until she got back. I didn't text. I didn't call. I wanted her to have no warning, no time to craft excuses or spin another web of lies. I wanted her caught. So when I heard the knock on my door a week later, I was ready. Lisa stood there, sun-kissed, glowing, her hair still damp from a fresh salon blowout. She looked radiant, like someone who had spent the last few weeks without a care in the world. "Hey, you," she said, grinning like nothing was wrong. I didn't smile. Her grin faltered. You okay?" I held up my phone, showed her the pictures, watched as her face flickered from confusion to realization to something almost like amusement. "Oh," she said, laughing lightly. "You saw those, huh?" "Yeah," I said, my voice deadly calm. "I saw them." She rolled her eyes. "Oh, come on. Don't be so dramatic. It's not like I lied to you." My fingers tightened around my phone. "You said you were in debt." "I was," she said defensively. "And then you paid it off. So, technically, I wasn't lying." My vision blurred at the edges. You took my money and went on vacation, I said, forcing my voice to stay steady. She shrugged. I mean, yeah, but I needed it. You don't understand how stressed I was. I had been drowning in bills, collectors calling me nonstop. It was horrible. So yeah, when that weight was lifted, I figured, why not take some time to relax? Relax, I repeated, my voice hollow. Yeah, she said, still smiling, as if she genuinely thought this explanation was reasonable. You know, celebrate a fresh start, self-care and all that. Don't you want me to be happy? My stomach twisted. I sacrificed for you, I said, my voice shaking. That money was supposed to be for me, for my future, for my security. And you spent it on a damn vacation? She rolled her eyes again. Ugh, you're being so dramatic. I saw red. You used me, I snapped. Lisa's face hardened. Oh, please, she scoffed. Don't act like you're some kind of victim. You chose to help me. No one forced you. So don't get all self-righteous now just because I spent my money. It was my money, I hissed. She waved a hand. Well, it's gone now, so what do you want me to do about it? And that was the moment I knew. She wasn't sorry. She never would be. Lisa had never felt guilt a day in her life. I stepped back. You will never get another dime from me, I said, my voice ice cold. Lisa's eyes narrowed. Oh, don't be like that. No, I cut her off. I mean it. You're cut off. For good. She scoffed. You need me, you know. What are you gonna do, tell Mom and Dad? Oh wait, they already know. I froze. Lisa smirked. Yeah, I told them. And guess what? They agree with me. They think you're overreacting. They think it's weird that you're so hung up over money. My stomach turned to stone. Lisa stepped closer, lowered her voice. Face it, she whispered. They will always take my side. I met her gaze, and I saw her for exactly what she was. A parasite. And parasites? You cut them out. For good. I stepped back, my voice calm. Then I guess I'm done with all of you. Lisa's smirk vanished. Wait. I shut the door in her face. Cutting Lisa off should have been the end of it. I had made my choice, drawn a line in the sand and slammed the door in her face. Literally. She had laughed, sneered, acted like it was a game, but I knew her well enough to recognize the flash of panic in her eyes before the lock clicked into place. Lisa wasn't afraid of losing me. She was afraid of losing her safety net. And if there was one thing I knew for certain, it was that my sister didn't lose quietly. I expected the fallout. I knew she wouldn't go away without trying to drag me back into her mess. But what I didn't expect, what I should have expected, was how quickly she turned the rest of the family against me. Because the next morning, the calls started. First, it was our mother, then our father, then our aunt, our cousin, and even my grandmother, whose arthritis-ridden fingers must have struggled to type the furious text she sent me. Lisa had wasted no time. She had spun her version of the story before I even had a chance to breathe. And predictably, in her version, I was the villain. I can't believe you'd do this to your own sister. My mother's voice shrieked through the phone the moment I answered. No greeting, no hesitation, just immediate full-volume outrage. She's family, for God. You don't just turn your back on family over a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding? I repeated, my voice dangerously calm. Yes, my mother snapped. So she spent a little money on herself. Big deal. She needed a break. Do you have any idea how stressful it was for her to be drowning in debt? I closed my eyes, gripping the phone tighter. She wasn't drowning in debt, Mom. She lied. She manipulated me into paying off her bills so she could go on a vacation. That's not what she told us. Of course it's not, I bit out. She lies, Mom. She always has. And you always believe her. Because she's your sister, my mother shot back, as if that was supposed to mean something. I took a slow breath. No, Mom, I said, my voice quieter this time. She's your daughter, and you're the one who let her turn out like this. A sharp inhale on the other end. A brief silence. Then, icily. If that's how you really feel, maybe you should stop calling me too. I let out a short, humorless laugh. Funny, I don't remember calling you at all. You're the one who called me to yell on Lisa's behalf. Another silence. You're being selfish, my mother muttered. I swallowed the anger rising in my throat. "No," I said. "I'm not." And then I hung up, because I was done. The family backlash didn't stop there. I was painted as the heartless, selfish one, the sibling who had so much but refused to help the one who needed it. Lisa played the victim perfectly. She told them all how I had shamed her for her financial struggles, how I had acted like I was better than her just because I had money. She painted herself as the struggling, well-meaning sister who had simply made a small mistake and been cruelly abandoned for it. And our family ate it up. I was bombarded with texts, guilt trips disguised as concern. "Just talk to her, honey. She's your sister. She loves you. You've always been so responsible. Don't throw away family over something so trivial. We're all worried about you. You're acting so cold lately. This isn't you. This isn't me." I had spent years being the one who cleaned up after Lisa's messes, the one who bailed her out, the one who let her walk all over me in the name of family. This was exactly who I was. The difference was, this time, I wasn't letting it happen. But Lisa wasn't satisfied with turning the family against me. No, she wanted more. She wanted to punish me for cutting her off. So, she did the one thing she knew would hit me where it hurt. She went after my job. It started small. Passive-aggressive comments under my professional social media posts. Vague, public complaints about how certain people think money makes them better than everyone else. I ignored it. But then the emails started. To my coworkers, to my boss. Anonymous messages claiming I was a fraud, that I had stolen money from my own family, that I was not to be trusted. She wanted to ruin me. And the worst part? It almost worked. Because people believe a good sob story, and Lisa had spent her entire life perfecting hers. I walked into work one morning and found my boss waiting for me, her lips pressed into a tight line, a folder of printed emails sitting on her desk. "I assume you know what this is about," she said. I exhaled sharply. "I have a pretty good idea." She tapped her nails against the folder. "Do you have any idea who sent these?" I met her gaze evenly. "Yes." She studied me for a long moment. "You're good at your job," she said finally. "You've always been professional, responsible, reliable. That's why I called you in before making any decisions. But I need to know." She gestured at the emails. "Is any of this true?" "No," I said firmly. "It's not." She nodded slowly. "Then handle it." Lisa had underestimated me. She thought she could take and take and take, and that I would never take back. She was wrong, because I had proof. Screenshots of our texts, bank statements showing every payment I had made on her behalf, the timestamps of when she received the money versus when she booked her luxury vacation, and I used it all. Not just with my boss, but with the rest of the family. I sent everything, every screenshot, every receipt, every lie she had told. And then I sat back and watched as her carefully constructed victim act came crashing down. The fallout was delicious. The messages from family stopped immediately. Lisa went radio silent for days. Then finally she sent me one last text. "You just couldn't let it go, could you? You had to humiliate me." I stared at the screen for a long time before replying. "You humiliated yourself." And then I blocked her. Blocking Lisa should have been the end of it. After everything, the manipulation, the betrayal, the outright attempt to ruin my life, I had finally cut her off. No more texts, no more calls, no more guilt-tripping relatives demanding I be the bigger person. Lisa was gone. But the thing about parasites, they don't let go without a fight. And Lisa had one last move to play. It happened 2 weeks after I exposed her. The initial fallout had been delicious. The family, so quick to defend her, had nothing to say once they saw the truth. The fake sympathy, the lectures about forgiveness, the passive-aggressive texts, they all stopped overnight. Lisa, who had spent her entire life painting herself as the victim, suddenly had no audience. And I had never felt freer. But freedom, I was learning, was something Lisa refused to let me have. Because one day, without warning, she showed up at my door. The knocking was relentless, loud, unhinged. I stared at the door, my stomach twisting, knowing exactly who it was. I shouldn't have opened it. I knew that. But some small masochistic part of me needed to see her, needed to know what desperation looked like when it had nowhere else to turn. So I opened the door. And there she was. Lisa. But not the Lisa I had known. This Lisa was ragged. Her once perfectly styled hair was unbrushed, her makeup smudged from either tears or exhaustion. She wasn't in her usual designer outfits, just a pair of wrinkled sweatpants and an oversized hoodie that looked like it hadn't been washed in weeks. Lisa looked small, but I wasn't about to fall for it again. "What do you want?" I asked, my voice flat. She let out a shaky breath. She swallowed hard, forcing a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. "Can we just talk?" I didn't move, didn't invite her in, didn't care. "Talk about what?" I asked. Her lower lip trembled. "Look, I messed up," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. "I know I did. I didn't think it would go this far." I scoffed. "You didn't think what would go this far? You mean you didn't think you'd get caught?" She flinched. "I wasn't trying to hurt you," she said quickly. I didn't know what else to do, and now—" She let out a shaky laugh, looking around as if expecting someone to appear and save her. "Now I don't have anyone." I didn't feel sorry for her, not even a little. "That's not my problem," I said. Her eyes snapped back to me, widening slightly, like she hadn't expected me to be this cold. Like she thought I would always be the one to forgive, the one to clean up the mess, the one who would never let her hit rock bottom. But I wasn't that person anymore. "Come on," she tried, forcing a laugh. "We're family. We can fix this." "There's nothing to fix," I interrupted. Her smile faltered. "Lisa," I said, my voice steady, "I don't trust you. I don't believe you. And I don't want you in my life." Her breath hitched. "You don't mean that," she whispered. "Yes," I said, "I do." She swallowed hard. And then, just for a second, I saw it. The act slipping. The desperation morphing into something uglier. "You think you're better than me?" she hissed, her voice shaking. I didn't flinch. "No," I said simply. "I just learned my lesson." Her face twisted. "You're so selfish," she spat. "You've always been selfish. You act like you're so much smarter, so much holier than thou, but you're just a bitter, pathetic—" I shut the door in her face. Her voice was muffled behind the wood, still yelling, still cursing, still spewing venom like it would change anything. It didn't. I locked the door, and I felt nothing but peace. Lisa didn't try again. Maybe she finally realized there was nothing left to take. Or maybe she had to deal with the consequences of her own actions alone. I didn't care either way. I moved on. I stopped worrying about her and started focusing on me. I rebuilt my savings. I strengthened my boundaries. And when family members tried to guilt trip me, I shut them down. "She's your sister." "No, she's your problem now. You can't just abandon her. She abandoned herself." "You'll regret this one day." "No, I won't." And I never did. Lisa had made her choices, and I had made mine. The difference? Mine finally gave me peace. And that was worth more than any amount of money I had ever lost.